For vehicles with a large load and a high center of gravity, reducing maximum speed before turning is a rule of survival. Sometimes the danger on the road doesn't come from other cars. Consider this unexpected situation. Sometimes the biggest enemy on the road is not in front or behind you, but right under your car. Think of your tires as the foundation of your mobile home. Check them regularly. Just a few minutes of care can prevent a scary moment. This was the result of a previous collision that was not dealt with. Continuing to drive with a damaged part is not only dangerous for yourself, but also creates an unexpected obstacle for others. Fortunately, the driver recognized the problem and pulled over. As a result, a potential disaster was extinguished in just a few dozen seconds. This incident is a stark reminder. Between the line of danger and safety, preparation and courage are the deciding factors. This driver seems to have decided that the highway lane is just a suggestion and the gas station is a must-see destination right now. This is a classic example of aquaplaning or hydroplaning. When the vehicle moves at an inappropriate speed on a flooded road, the tires cannot push the water out in time, creating a layer of water between the tire and the road. At this point, the vehicle no longer has grip on the road but actually floats on the water. Any effort to steer or brake is almost meaningless. Sometimes the danger does not come from other road users, but from falling from the sky. Let's watch this narrow escape. Have you ever wondered what happens when haste meets a train? Here's the answer, the almost version. If you think one train is challenging enough, check out this bonus scenario. This is a classic trap at multi-track crossings. The first train creates a blind spot, both visually and auditorily, completely obscuring the second train. The cyclist was incredibly lucky to stop in time. At a railroad crossing, always make sure all tracks are clear. Always look both ways twice. A moment of extraordinary courage and reflexes. The two staff acted decisively, putting the safety of others first. This is a testament to the importance of railway staff at crossings. Pocket lesson, red means stop, not speed up if you think you can make it. Patience at intersections is required. And finally, a visual lesson on the concept of blind spots. Mother Nature sometimes has her own ideas about blocking the road. Pocket lesson. In severe weather, if not necessary, staying home is the safest option. Parking is not a race, and remember, even when you're standing still, someone might be trying to merge space-time with you. Always be alert.
Quick, no.
The dump truck driver made a basic calculation error, one that even a 5th grader could have pointed out. The width of the truck was larger than the space. Instead of waiting 10 seconds, he chose an option that could have cost hours and a lot of money. The reflexes of the pedestrians nearby deserved medals. It's a combination of ignoring red lights and a strong belief that his truck can shrink at will. This bridge has a reputation and it didn't disappoint. The result is a quick, neat, but expensive haircut for the truck's roof. Today's lesson: how to turn yourself into an unwanted decoration on the front of a truck. If you can't see the truck driver's face in their rearview mirror, they can't see you. Get out of there. Do you want to experience a drive-thru where there is no drive-thru? This driver created one. The most likely scenario here is pedal confusion. In a moment of disorientation, the accelerator pedal was mistaken for the brake pedal. As the car started to move, panic caused the driver to press harder, a vicious cycle. Welcome to the sandwich making practice. Today's sandwich is a white sedan. Everything was going fine until a truck tire decided to escape. It did a few artistic bounces before landing on the hood of a parked pickup. For drivers, especially truckers, checking your vehicle before every trip is not a formality, it is a responsibility. And here's a demonstration of the domino effect highway version. It's not cheap to participate. A safe distance is your buffer against chaos. When that distance doesn't exist, one person's mistake becomes everyone's problem. Luckily, the truck behind made a cool move and avoided becoming the last domino.
Only in Detroit. He is getting it. He don't care.
Let me repeat for the 1000th time. Consider the inside of a turning truck a forbidden zone. Never trespass. A collision, no matter how small, can damage the car's steering and suspension systems. This shows the importance of slowing down and staying alert. Even if you are not the one who made the first mistake, you can still be the one to suffer the consequences. This is a spectacular demonstration of shifting the center of gravity. The truck was like a four-legged table, and they decided to saw off one leg without putting anything underneath. Gravity, as usual, did not miss the opportunity to teach a lesson. This kind of driving behavior usually has only one reasonable explanation: the driver's eye-brain-hand-foot coordination has temporarily gone on vacation. When your operating system lags, even the simplest tasks can lead to a complete system crash. This is a bowling match, but instead of pins, we have motorbikes, and the bowling ball is an orange car. In tight parking lots, caution is everything, and if you hear an unusual engine roar, pull over first, ask questions later. When the road is flooded, slow down, keep your distance, and forget about overtaking. Your destination won't go anywhere, but you can. When faced with a larger vehicle, always give way. Your life is more valuable than any shipment. Amidst puzzling decisions, we sometimes witness moments that illuminate our faith in humanity. This is one of those moments. This is a classic example of improperly carrying bulky cargo. The truck driver did not take into account how large an arc the tail of the cargo would sweep when turning. The result was an extremely dangerous situation for surrounding vehicles.
Let's move.
Yep, that's why I moved.
Oh boy.
The lesson here: when around large vehicles, consider yourself invisible. If you can't see the driver's face in their rearview mirror, chances are they can't see you either. Next, let's enjoy a summer version of figure skating on the freeway. Our skater appears to have performed a triple Lutz, but without the necessary grace. The problem here is overconfidence in the narrow space. The bus driver probably thought he had enough room but forgot that his body was very long and the rear of the vehicle would have a different trajectory when cornering. A miscalculation of just a few centimeters could cause a mess and block traffic. Always be wary of bulky cargo vehicles. Give them space. Don't assume they will move as neatly as a car.
Oj, jobban är rå. Don't be any.
Never underestimate the inertia of a large vehicle. Always leave them a safe space behind you and avoid changing lanes abruptly in front of the truck. The laws of physics are not suggestions, they always win. This is a vivid physics lesson. The vehicle's center of gravity has been shifted dangerously rearward due to the improperly loaded cargo. As the slope of the slope increases, the center of gravity moves behind the rear axle, turning it into a fulcrum. This was not an accident in the sense of a collision, but a breakdown in consciousness. Most important lesson: after a collision, your journey is over. Stop in a safe place, turn off the engine, and assess the situation. Trying to crawl home in a damaged vehicle will turn a bad situation into a series of worse ones. Red lights are not a test of courage, they are for saving lives. Driving too fast on a slippery curve? When the tires lost traction, the car turned into an out-of-control dancer. An unexpected pinball performance on the highway. The white car scored absolute points on all the medians and guardrails, a move that made insurance companies cry out. A mind-boggling chess game, the car decided to sacrifice its pawn to checkmate the general, the truck. The result was the entire chessboard was lost. Not keeping a safe distance in slippery road conditions, one person's mistake becomes a disaster for many. Keeping distance is not to be distant, but to meet again someday. The dump truck driver was probably in a hurry to deliver the goods to the god of thunder and forgot that he was wearing the crown. The poor lamppost became a victim of this absent-mindedness. The car decided to find freedom on its own when the owner forgot about the existence of the handbrake. The chase and the owner's efforts to save the car deserve the Best Supporting Actor award. Deliberately ran a red light, disregarding the right-of-way of the school bus. This action is not only dangerous for yourself, but also for the children on the bus. The waiting mode was activated at the wrong time. This driver probably wanted to test whether his car was a submarine. As a result, it failed the test. Reversing requires the finesse of an artist, not the strength of a vandal. Reckless driving, performing skills in public. When you lose control, the consequences are unpredictable. The street is a place to travel, not a stage for you to perform. A symphony of bad decisions. The black car orchestrates a chaotic dance, the pickup truck plays the role of an unwilling dance partner, and the poor red car sits in the VIP stands and gets the full combo. Mountain passes are not a stage for proving one's mettle, they are a test of humility. A moment of brain off the wheel when deciding that the traffic light is just a reference, the result is a costly but inanimate demolition. Completely losing control of the vehicle on the wet stage, turning the car into an aimless bowling ball. Mother Nature proves who is the final boss on this road, an unannounced replanning of the terrain, reducing all vehicles to mere toys. A deadly combination of speed, gravity, and a curve, the driver gambled with physics and lost. The driver of the white car played blind man's bluff with the truck. The result was a goat that gave him a memorable blow. Speed and carelessness are mortal enemies in narrow spaces like parking lots. Driving at an uncontrolled speed in a narrow space of the parking lot, a hasty turn of the wheel turned the parking into a crash test.
Давайте он сам будет делать, пусти его. Значит, все сам пусть сделает. Давай, сынок.
Don't let your arrogance turn your car into an unlicensed aircraft. A sad rain symphony between two luxury cars. The Audi rushed as if afraid of missing the golden hour, while the Volvo turned left as if it was a walk in the park. The result was a chaotic spinning dance. Recklessly overtaking, completely encroaching on the opposite lane at a blind bend. This is an extremely reckless and reckless act of disregard for life. The solid line is not for decoration, it is the boundary of life. The tractor decided to go one way while the truck body wanted to explore a separate path, a spectacular separation right on the mountain pass. The silver car driver played a sandwich game with the truck and the concrete wall and ended up becoming the victim himself. Not keeping a safe distance. This is a classic cause of chain reaction accidents when one person's mistake becomes a tragedy for many. A safe distance is the cheapest and most effective insurance. This phone store should probably open a drive-through service. The driver made a surprise visit, forcing the delivery man to perform Ling Bo Wei Bu, Lang Ba Wei Bo, to escape. The truck wheel decided to declare independence and started its own journey, leaving a terrifying pantomime on the highway. Your vehicle is only as safe as its weakest part. Don't skip regular inspections. The white pickup truck wanted to prove that it could go through any obstacle. Unfortunately, the black pickup truck was not a soft obstacle. Both vehicles were at fault for encroaching on the lane at a blind turn, combined with slippery road conditions which created a serious collision. A second of distraction can cause years of damage. Two giants decided to fight right at the crosswalk. The median strip and the lamppost became victims in the battle of the steel gods. Running a red light at high speed, losing control and flipping over. A vehicle carrying flammable materials in an accident will cause catastrophic consequences. The SUV tried to jump across the median to confront the container truck, a bold but unwise decision. The median is there to separate, not to test your flying skills. An unexpected reunion of a pickup truck and a tractor trailer. It seems that the pickup truck driver forgot that the truck needs a distance longer than a football field to stop. Your lane is the safest place. Don't try to take over someone else's lane. Rainy roads are not only slippery, they are also full of surprises. Control your speed and keep your distance. A confrontation between two warriors at a night intersection. Both wanted to gain the right of way, and as a result, they created a fireworks display of metal and broken glass. The poor lamppost became a victim when the two giants decided to settle the dispute with force. This pickup truck driver probably confused stepping on the gas with stepping on the brake, deciding to create a unique entrance for the restaurant. The blue car door decides to be free and leaves its owner in a dramatic way. Perhaps it wants to prove that it can go its own way, no longer depending on the car body.
Down from 9.1% to around 2% without triggering the section, and I'll acknowledge
An involuntary ballet on a wet highway. The black pickup truck performed a spectacular pirouette after trying to squeeze into a lane in a hurry, almost having a partner in the yellow truck. Running a red light or not yielding at an intersection, a reckless and selfish act. Intersections are places that require tolerance and compliance, not a place to show who's in a hurry. Changing lanes without observing blind spots. With large vehicles, blind spots are much larger than you think. Opens with an extremely unnecessary aerial acrobatics act. The white car driver seems to have signed up for the wrong class. Instead of learning to drive, he ended up in a circus class, a literal underground lane change. This driver must have watched Back to the Future for over 180 minutes and wanted to try to create a time warp. The spectacular water slide turned the car into a giant match on the highway. Sticking too close to the car in front, not giving yourself a chance to react. Keep your distance. Friendship lasts. Vehicles stay intact. The domino effect on the highway: when one car slips on a banana peel, the whole group joins in the out-of-control dance. This is why driving in heavy rain while thinking you're going for a walk on a sunny day is a bad idea. The motorcyclist just had a Hollywood-class dodging death. The lucky god must have had to work overtime that day. Slow down, life is long and there are more interesting things than lying under a truck. A truck performs a balancing act on 2 wheels, a dangerous performance that no one asked for and certainly not covered by insurance. Leave the stunts to the stuntmen. Your job is to drive home safely. The driver is distracted, possibly due to fatigue or distraction. The road is straight, but the steering wheel is not. When tired, the bed is your friend. The steering wheel is your enemy. The red car decides to turn the bridge into a stage for its fateful spin. The other cars just stand there and silently thank you for keeping your distance. He probably thought it was a friendly greeting on the road. Crossing the intersection without slowing down or looking, a hasty decision with painful consequences. A head-to-head between 2 white cars in a narrow space. It seems both want to prove who is the king of this alley. Give way, the sky is calm. 1 second, we might have to meet at the police station. It seems that this driver misunderstood the concept of drive-through. Instead of going through the checkout counter, he decided to check in straight into the store with the entire vehicle. The debut couldn't be more impressive. The ultimate yoga performance, handstand pose in a car version. Luckily, the people around did not stand by and watch, but together performed the flip the car to the original position exercise. A heartwarming moment in the chaos. The bus decided to try a roller coaster using the median as a track. The people sitting on the median had a free but terrifying 4D movie experience. Changing lanes in an extremely reckless and dangerous manner, performing a pit on yourself when colliding with a truck. The highway is multi-lane, but not for zigzags. Stay in your lane. Welcome to the real-life version of Grand Theft Auto. When you try to run away, the police will activate Game Over mode. The Jeep's spin is spectacular, but the final destination is still a pair of handcuffs. This is a controlled crash test to show us what happens when a truck decides to jump the median. Thanks to the scientists who did this for us. A silver van driver's ignoring all stop signs tour, but all fun has an end. And the final stop of this trip is a dead end and a final stop from a police car. systematically disregarding traffic signals, causing constant danger. The stop sign is red, octagonal, it means stop, simple as that. A dance in the middle of the intersection when the red van decides to cut in on the van. The result is both of them supporting each other in a very distorted waltz. The car driver probably thought he was in an Indian movie, able to escape his predetermined fate, but the truck proved otherwise, and the ending was not happy. Ever play with the space of a truck, especially in tight places? The Jeep driver seemed to be trying to perform a professional drift into a parking lot. Unfortunately, he miscalculated the angle and landed right on top of another car. A stormy ferry ride. This car seems to want to experience the feeling of a mini submarine, but forgot that it was not designed to do so. Driving on a flooded pontoon bridge, an extremely risky decision. If you see the road turning into a river, it is best to turn around. Know the limits of the vehicle and the road. Sometimes taking a step back is the best way to move forward. A failed ram raid crashing a car into a store was successful. The car broke the window, but it seems the thieves did not anticipate that driving indoors is not as easy as driving on the road. Using a vehicle to commit a crime, causing danger and property damage. Driving is for transportation, not for crime. The gate is not the finish line. Slow down as you approach your home. A burning scene at a gas station. This driver must have thought that gasoline and fire were best friends. Luckily, the employees reacted very quickly and put out the fire before it became a disaster. Running a red light, not looking, and colliding with a vehicle with the right of way. Yellow lights mean slow down, red lights mean stop. Don't turn intersections into a gamble. A spectacular rescue. When stuck, call a professional rescue instead of trying to get out yourself and making things worse. A dramatic series of collisions. The black car driver probably wanted to try the feeling of flying and ended up leapfrogging over the head of another car. The highway is not the place to show off. Driving safely is a way to show off intelligence. Even the most professional drivers need to be careful on treacherous roads. A collision at an intersection. It seems that both drivers thought they had a green light, a lesson in look before you go. A green light does not mean absolute safety. Always look before going through an intersection. The blue car had a spectacular takeoff with the help of the launch pad, which is the snow truck, a flying move that no pilot would want to try. A high-speed chase ended in a chain reaction collision. This is why action movies always have the slogan, "Don't try this at home." Life is not a movie. Drive responsibly.
Per hour, falling into the 134 stab. Apartment lot. Reason for stop, reckless driving. Going through the back alley. Males. Put your hands up! Stop the car! Stop the car!
City 75.
Stop the car!
A dramatic police chase going through many alleys and ending in a corner that cannot be escaped. Cooperating with the authorities is always the smartest and safest choice. The pickup truck driver appears to be testing his suspension on the side of the road. Sometimes the best decision is to let them go and catch them later rather than causing more danger. Miscalculation when docking, leading to collision with infrastructure? The captain of this oil tanker submarine seems to have confused the highway with the Suez Canal. He bravely faced the challenge of crossing the flood like a god, creating waves even bigger than a swimming pool. Floodwaters are not a place to test your driving skills. Don't turn your beloved car into an involuntary submarine. The most cumbersome rescue in the solar system. Rescue also requires skills. Don't let your kindness turn into a double disaster. When you want to join an F1 race, but the only vehicle you have is a tractor. The tractor driver proved that speed isn't everything, especially when you don't have ABS brakes and electronic stability control. A convincing sending the tire back to Mother Earth from the police. The Jeep driver thought he was escaping the siege, but unexpectedly got stuck in a bed of spikes of love. Accelerating suddenly, the person sitting behind has no solid support. This is proof of treating friends like checked baggage. This truck probably wanted to perform a headbutt with the highway sign to see who was tougher. The basic mistake was driving side by side, not keeping a safe distance from each other. Friendship is beautiful, but needs to be accompanied by a safe distance. The entire chain of events is a valuable lesson in disregarding the law, from running away from the police, driving recklessly, running red lights causing a series of accidents, to fleeing the scene. Each wrong decision follows the next, creating an increasingly serious consequence. Don't turn the streets into personal racetracks, because the finish line of recklessness is never freedom. The biker got a free mud spa experience and an unscheduled tour under the truck. He can't believe he got up like a superhero after that horrible bath. When you see a big truck, pretend you're invisible to them. Stay away from the blind spot so you don't have to push your luck. Michael Bay-style gas station grand opening. The truck crashed into the spot at the speed of light, creating an explosion effect that was more spectacular than a blockbuster movie. Keeping a distance is an art. Be an artist on the road, not a part of a scrap sculpture. Cutting in front of a large vehicle is a thoughtless act. The truck's blind spot and inertia will not forgive any mistakes. The serious fault belongs to the BMW driver who did not slow down and give way to the pedestrian crossing the road at the priority line. This action not only shows a lack of traffic culture, but also violates the law, directly endangering pedestrians. The guy was enjoying a moment of meditation on the sidewalk when suddenly a stupid car decided that the curve was the ideal place to practice ballet. The giant on the road needs stability, not impromptu dances. The terrain steed aggressively charged into the liquid chocolate pool with undying confidence, but forgot to ask how deep it was. And so instead of a heroic obstacle course, we got a resigned deep dive performance where the car was embraced by nature. Miscalculation of weight and fulcrum is a fatal mistake in rescue. The savior turned himself into the next victim of the laws of physics. Losing control at high speed. This could be due to sudden lane changes, sharp steering, or unforeseen slippery road conditions. The real-life version of the game Street Robbery had a bitter ending. The driver tried his best, but the police had the ultimate move called Precision Pursuit Technique, PIT. Resisting law enforcement officers, driving recklessly, endangering himself and others, the police's PIT technique is a necessary measure to end this danger.
Positive contact on the rear. Nope, right on the bumper. Right on his bumper. Right on his bumper. Yeah. Touch him. Touch him. Positive contact.
Running away from the law is never a good option. The price to pay is always more expensive than a ticket. After years of captivity, the truck wheel decided to make a spectacular escape to freedom. It rolled away with pride, leaving behind its former owner and a bewildered boy on a bicycle with a free ticket to the circus in the front row. Traffic laws can be flexible, but physics never is. An impromptu dance combination between two SUVs, the black car performed a perfect aerial spin, while its red counterpart was too clumsy. The resulting metal sculpture is a sight to behold. Welcome to the Wet Skating Championship. These two athletes gave a passionate tango performance, but it seemed like they forgot that they were driving a car, not skating. Keep a safe distance, especially with those big guys who look cool on the outside but are hot on the inside. The driver probably accidentally activated the flying mode that Elon Musk has not announced yet. The car made a spectacular takeoff and landed perfectly on the roof of the minivan. A touching story about loyalty. Not wanting to be left behind, the FedEx truck rolled on its own to find its owner. Unfortunately, it didn't know how to stop. Classic mistake, crossing the lane on a blind corner, an act where recklessness completely wins over reason. A perfect combination of distraction and subjectivity. Ignoring the warning, or not looking at it at all, is the perfect combo to turn the way home into an unexpected geological adventure. Who says construction machinery is boring? Watch this artist turn an excavator into a ballet dancer, performing the death spin with passion and disregard for the world. Creativity is good, but don't let your creativity make others light up with fear. Perhaps due to overwork, the red truck decided to take a nap in the middle of the intersection. A very expensive and noticeable nap. Don't try to turn your truck into an F1 racer in a corner. This is probably the final test of the drive-through course, the enter the party without invitation test. The rescue technique is at the level of self-destruction. Not calculating the load and the stability of the ground turned a small incident into a double disaster. The truck is playing a street version of Jenga with giant logs. The tricycle, with the courage of a warrior, decided to enter the death zone and accidentally pulled out the decisive wooden bar. A perfect strike.
Oh no! Runaway tire! No! Oh my god, it is still going!
Love your 4 tires. Don't let them go looking for new horizons on their own. This is not an accident, this is an art installation called The Kiss in the Tail. When the conductor at the front braked suddenly, the whole orchestra behind played a symphony of metal and broken glass. Maybe the tanker truck got bored with its monotonous life and decided to try its hand at artistic backflips. It did a perfect flip and landed in a top-up position right in the middle of the intersection. Running a red light and not yielding to emergency vehicles. This is unacceptable behavior with a disregard for the law and human life. This car had a secret affair with a power pole and decided to make it public with a passionate kiss. The pole, despite being shocked, still stood there, majestic and silent. The Audi driver seems to have discovered a secret shortcut that none of us know about. The only shortcut you can find is to go straight to the garage. Be patient. An artistic performance of street bowling from the BMW driver. He excellently scored a spare on 2 red cars and almost struck a pedestrian. Luckily, their reflexes were faster than his speed. The street is not a bowling alley. Save your strikes for somewhere else. And here is the game, picking up the sticks with heavy industry. The small truck has decided to generously share its collection of steel pipes with the entire intersection. An unwanted action. The truck wheel has decided it is tired of the constraints of life and wants to go find a way to save the country. A surprising and ridiculous farewell right in the middle of the street. The thrilling chase ended with the Prius deciding to plant a banana tree on the grass. Luckily, the mother and baby did not become unwilling spectators in the front row. What a thrilling escape. Don't make innocent people part of your action movie. It seems the bus driver really wanted to try the drive-through service of the convenience store but went to the wrong gate. Stores are meant to be entered on foot, not by the entire bus. Fire, possibly due to the electrical or fuel system. Regular vehicle maintenance to avoid unexpected hot situations. A spectacular takeoff, taking the pickup truck to new heights. Unfortunately, the landing was not so smooth. This pilot needs a few more hours of flying. This driver must have thought the gas station was a toy and decided to cut it down. The entire gas station literally exploded. Gas stations are extremely dangerous places. Always focus 100%. The truck carrying timber was probably too tired and decided to lie down and take a nap in the middle of the road. There is no more graceful sleeping position. Driving on bridges requires absolute concentration, as even a moment of distraction can turn your journey into an action movie without stuntmen. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the performance Surface to Volvo Rocket. The Hyundai driver, with the ambition of an astronaut, decided to test the force of gravity on a narrow slope.
Tragedia en la Inter.
And next is the magic show, The Invisible Man and the Two Giants. Our motorcycle magician confidently performed a classic disappearance right between two truck assistants. Unfortunately, the assistants did not coordinate well, and the magic trick ended with an unscripted squeeze. He drove with the demeanor of someone taking a walk in the park while the wheels were screaming for help. If your car starts to look like a burning match, it's probably time to stop. This van probably wanted to do a boarding on the median, but forgot it didn't have a board. The result was an impromptu aerial ballet that ended in a graceful handstand pose. After a hard day's work, the crane guy decided to do a bend-over-the-ground yoga pose, a dramatic collapse that left the surrounding scrap metal silent with awe. The secret to safe parking? Always keep your right foot ready to press the brake unless you want to kiss the wall. This driver, who is definitely a big fan of the Dukes of Hazzard movies, decided to take a flying leap over the legendary bridge. Unfortunately, the bridge did not cooperate, and he was in a unique position to reflect on his decision. The barrier is not a challenge, it is a warning. Don't turn your car into a roller coaster.
How's the road?
Wet, but
Over there. They're on 10 west of D19.
A loving pit maneuver from the police. They gently turned the car of the man who was trying to break the escape record and invited him to the side to award the Silver Handcuffs prize. The race against the law always has only one person to finish last, and that person is not you. Running a light or not giving way. A basic mistake, but the consequences are extremely artistic. The driver, with the optimism of someone who had never heard of gravity, decided to perform a miraculous tilt. Knock on the door. Is anyone home? Doorstep delivery service. The homeowner must have been shocked to see an SUV decide to break in through the fence instead of ringing the doorbell. A more impressive introduction could not have been more impressive with the presence of the police. Ignoring traffic signals, thinking the red light was just a decorative suggestion. A figure skating performance on a winter street. Driving like you're on ice, losing control of your speed on slippery roads. Snowy roads are no place to drift. Slow down unless you want to try spinning tops. The G-Wagon's prison break of the century. It decided that life on a transport vehicle was boring and made a free-fall jump in search of the promised land. The police were there to welcome the escaped prisoner. The chase ended with an artistic car squeeze from the police. They gently locked the tail, turning the fugitive's car into a stuck toy. A more impressive debut at the charging station, turning the electric car into a pile of scrap metal in an instant. This driver probably wanted to test his car's wading ability and chose a ditch as a swimming pool, an involuntary river bath. Roads are for driving, not swimming. Keep your car on land. In a moment of inspiration, the driver decided to try his hand at piloting, turning an overpass into a runway. Leave flights to your dreams, and on the bridge, keep your wheels on the ground. Excuse me, does this red carpet lead to the parking lot? Probably the driver's question before turning the car into the main star of the event in an unexpected way. Driving is an art, not a comedy. Excavator version of seesaw performance. The operator challenged gravity with a giant rock, and gravity won overwhelmingly. The leading car probably braked suddenly to watch a bird fly by, and the whole group of cars behind unanimously kissed each other passionately. Our main character in the SUV seems to have missed the physics lesson on the topic, two objects cannot occupy the same space at the same time. The truck, with a "I'm just going straight" look on his face, directly taught the SUV a memorable practical lesson on inertia. And then, as an uninvited witness, the postal truck had an unforgettable day at work. The white car successfully activated invisible mode for only one person, the shipper. Perhaps he was so engrossed in calculating the optimal distance in the multi-dimensional universe that he forgot the harsh reality right in front of him. Carrying a load that is too high and bulky completely changes the center of gravity of the vehicle. A slight turn is enough to turn it into a costly lesson. This driver accidentally signed up for a high-speed dance lesson with a puddle dancer This unexpected waltz ended with a dirt and grass entrance on the side of the road. It seems that the navigation system of this plane had a bad day when it mistook the golf course parking lot for runway 9. The golfers probably had to pause their game to admire the hole-in-one in a unique way. Instead of following the flat asphalt road, the driver of the white car decided to explore a new shortcut, the ditch on the side of the road. A daring stunt, incredible balancing skills. Unfortunately, there is no real-life reload button. The median is not a skate track. Leave your wheels on the ground where they belong. His is proof that no matter how perfect your driving is, sometimes you still cannot escape fate or the degradation of infrastructure.
They drove out the two guys heading the wrong way on 30 exit.
Just get on the wrong way over there. Yeah, it's tough.
This is a dramatic tango in which the silver SUV is the unwilling dance partner and the policeman is a master dancer. After patiently leading through many roads, the dancer decided to end the performance with a classic 180-degree turn, pit technique. Losing control, encroaching on the lane at a blind curve, a classic combo of mistakes leading to an inevitable outcome. Recklessly running a red light, completely ignoring the oncoming traffic, this is an act of betting your life and the lives of others on luck. The driver of the white car was probably practicing the reversing by telepathy exercise. Unfortunately, the car behind did not catch the signal. Before backing up, turn around. What you don't see can absolutely hurt you. The white SUV seemed to have a long-standing feud with the guardrail. It decided to settle the matter once and for all by driving straight at it with determination. In a moment of courage, the small car decided to fight with the giant concrete mixer truck. A great display of teamwork, where a brave farmer decides to use his tiny tractor to rescue the giant tanker truck. The tractor roars and belches black smoke like a dragon, showing great will. But unfortunately, the law of friction has a different opinion.
is Dayton Road.
7431 Dayton Road, ready for
Horseman, she's got a gun in hand. Vehicle's 10-7. Gun! Horseman, she just ran my vehicle. It's 10-7. She does have a gun in hand. Continue on Dayton Road towards 71. I'm 10-7.
The red pickup truck tried to make a spectacular prison break, but encountered a police dancer who knew how to lead. The pit maneuver technique turned the chase into a dramatic tango, ending right on the country road stage. Running from the police is not only a violation of the law, but also a risky gamble for everyone on the road. Don't turn the streets into an action movie. The ending is often not as happy as on the screen. An incredible move from the van rider. He decided to turn his car into a skateboard, performing a technical grind on the railing. This car seems to be tired of regular parking, so it decided to activate the flip over mode to relax. There is some invisible magnetic force that pulls the red car into an unwilling tango with the pickup truck. Unfortunately, the pickup truck has no interest in dancing and ends the performance in a cruel way.
What is she doing? I'm not even going in the gas tank. The gas tank. What are they doing? Wait, no. No, that's smart. Wait, we should.
Eventually, they realized the solution was much simpler: backing up. This truck driver seems to believe in the philosophy of go and you will find a way, and created a VIP entrance through the fence. A creative gate opening, but not cheap to repair. Don't turn your shipment into a failed magic trick. Secure the cargo as if your life depended on it.
Mira, Carlos, mira. ¡Ah! ¿Lo has visto, Gordy? Eso es lo que le pasó a mi hijo. Eso es lo que le pasó a mi hijo.
This driver thought he was playing Need for Speed and found a shortcut to perform a barrel roll in real life. Unfortunately, there is no replay button. The driver of the white pickup truck seemed to want to do a cool drift to the curb, but forgot that the electric pole and the parked sedan were not spectators. Pushing and cutting in recklessly and not understanding the concept of safe distance. Always remember the golden rule: if you can't see the truck driver's face, he can't see you either. A magnificent domino effect performance on the highway. Just one impatient artist suddenly breaks, the whole orchestra behind will play a symphony of metal and broken glass. The crane is trying to perform a difficult yoga move, crane stretch, but it seems to have lost its balance and needs a few more sessions. With heavy machinery, stability is everything. Don't let a workday turn into a disaster. The container driver performed a destroy and conquer style reverse, turning the guard station into a pile of rubble. Love your car, maintain it regularly. Don't let it break up part by part on the road. A confident lane merging in the style of the universe will take care of the rest. Unfortunately, the universe was busy that day, and the other drivers were not. Congratulations to the pickup truck for finding a death hole hidden under the water. This is an expensive lesson that the road is not always there for you. This brilliant racer proved that the speed of light can turn a car into a cloud of debris, an unscheduled fireworks display. An unwilling street ballerina. The truck was about to drift on the ice, but the floor was a bit slippery and the car partner was not warned at all. The result was a surprising hug and a repair bill that would surely be as beautiful as a sculpture. Dumping cargo on uneven terrain is a fatal mistake. The center of gravity of the vehicle is on one side, and just a little carelessness, the vehicle will flip over like a toy. While our sedan only needs to see a puddle to cry, this friend considers the rugged terrain as a joke, and the ditch is just a recreational swimming pool. The car took off like an expired superhero, and the girl stepped out as if she had just finished a performance and was waiting for the audience to applaud. Both were at fault. The white SUV driver did not observe carefully before going out onto the road, rushing out suddenly. Meanwhile, the silver sedan driver was moving too fast in the area with an exit gate, not having enough time to react. This is a catastrophic consequence of losing control of a vehicle at high speed. The cause could be due to the driver falling asleep, a technical problem such as brake failure, or a mishandling. A dramatic farewell to a crane veteran. Instead of retiring quietly, it decided to go all out, turning the construction site into a mini battlefield and leaving the workers with a lesson in humility in front of steel. Fuel leak or electrical short circuit in the engine compartment. This is an extremely dangerous situation that can cause a terrible fire and explosion at the gas station. Always check your car and equip it with a fire extinguisher. Don't let your car get hot-tempered at the wrong time and place. An impromptu overturning the box dance performance on the death curve. The driver proved that with just a little speed and a sharp turn, you can pour out your heart and a ton of cargo in the middle of the road in an artistic way. Before rolling, check carefully. A forgotten button can cost you a fortune. The white SUV performed an artistic 360-degree death dance. The red car just stood still and enjoyed this reluctant performance. The dump truck driver did not lock the bed, or the hydraulic system failed, causing all the sand and gravel to fall onto the road while moving. The black car has turned the party into a messy billiard table, where other cars are the reluctant marbles. The drift has failed spectacularly. This garbage truck seems to be too tired from climbing the hill and decided to do a free slide to relieve stress. When a tornado decided to visit the highway, it did not forget to bring a truck as a gift. This road seems to be very hungry and decided to swallow the SUV. A sudden sinkhole turned a normal journey into an unwanted underground adventure. When it rains heavily, go slowly and observe carefully. Sometimes the road is not as gentle as you think. Perhaps this driver was in a hurry and decided to create a separate through-the-wall style entrance. The sofa in the store certainly did not expect that it would have such a grand, uninvited guest. Driving in heavy snow, limited visibility, and extremely slippery road surface. Failure to keep a safe distance and not reducing speed led to an inevitable chain reaction accident. Anger does not solve problems, it only creates more problems. Perhaps this truck driver thought his vehicle was capable of diving like a submarine. He bravely faced the floodwaters, but in the end, the water proved who was the final boss. When the road is as slippery as an ice rink, drive like a careful pedestrian, not like a figure skater. Luckily, the driver had a miraculous handling, bringing the vehicle to a rescue slope, turning a potential disaster into a safe landing in a heartbeat. This truck driver probably confused driving with cleaning the sidewalk. Just a moment of carelessness, he turned his car into a bulldozer and cleared everything in its path. The two people sitting and talking must have had a scare. The driver of the black car proved a truth. When you try to squeeze in between a close relationship between the dashcam car and the car in front, you will get a more bitter ending, a failed cut-in that went down in history. On the highway, a safe distance is a life-saving buffer. Never tailgate too closely. Perhaps the driver wanted to prove that small but mighty, but ended up turning himself into an obstacle in the middle of the traffic. The fault lies entirely with the pickup truck driver who lost control of the vehicle. The cause could be due to brake failure, loss of steering, or lack of concentration. This car probably got too hot inside and decided to turn itself into a living torch. But the most surprising thing was the summoning of the aircraft carrier version of the fire brigade. When going downhill, always use low gear and brake. Don't let the slope become a one-way trip for you. A surprising fire-breathing scene turns the car into a living torch and leaves the homeowner frozen. The main fault was the severely degraded road surface with a large pothole that was not warned. The SUV suddenly lost control when entering at high speed. This truck driver was probably looking for the most unique parking spot in the city, and he found it right in a residential yard. This could be an intentional act of vandalism, or the driver completely lost control. Drunk, accidentally stepped on the gas pedal. This driver has performed a skillful gliding move, turning his car into a pool ball, poking continuously into the cars parked on the side of the road. Someone was probably craving a midnight BBQ and decided to host it right at the gas station. The out-of-control SUV crashed into the pump like a moth to a flame, creating a spectacular fireworks display and a raging fire. Luckily, the employee with the fire extinguisher was able to put out the party before it got too luxurious. This passenger car was probably craving a bowl of vermicelli soup, so it decided to visit the shop in the most direct way possible. Do not overtake recklessly. A minute faster can cost you and many others dearly. It started with the casting for Transformers 8 inches by the truck driver. He thought he was controlling Optimus Prime and decided to do a crazy drift to avoid your container. Putting all his trust in a weak ground like noodles. When one side of the wheel decided to travel underground, the truck immediately turned into a giant seesaw. The workplace is not an amusement park. One mistake and you'll not only go a mile astray, but also lose a month's salary. Instead of slowing down, the driver accidentally activated missile mode, turning the car into an unguided weapon. A contemporary artist decided to create an installation art piece called The Silence of Steel right on the highway, turning the road into an impromptu parking lot. Everyone was forced to enjoy this piece for hours. Intersections are not the place to show off your bravery, show off your culture. A classic magic trick, disappearing from the curb and appearing right in front of a Mercedes. This performance was so unexpected that the Mercedes had to clap with the entire front of the car. A perfect salto flip. Unfortunately, there was no cushion and no medal was awarded. Leave the speed for the track. Don't take it to the street. A literal heavy-duty weight-carrying performance. It seems that the truck overestimated its muscles trying to lift the armored vehicle like a weightlifter. Ignoring the safe distance from high-voltage power sources, this is one of the fatal mistakes in operating construction machinery. This train must have been bored with the straight track and decided to explore the wild off-road world. A spectacular turn took the whole train into an adventure on the grasslands. Passengers, if any, must have had an unforgettable shaking experience. In these situations, the safest driving skill is to find a safe shelter. The sedan driver decided to challenge the giant pickup truck Goliath by trying to squeeze into a space that was only big enough for a bicycle. As a result, David was given a light handshake by Goliath and flew into the air. This guy is trying to negotiate the price of gas with body language. It seems that the gas station doesn't understand this version of mouth fighting and still refuses to release the tap. Luckily, he doesn't use a lighter to heat up the conversation. The supergiant version of Jenga has a winner, and it's definitely not the excavator driver. One wrong move has caused the entire structure to collapse, literally.
El 3 de diciembre de 2024.
This driver must have entered the wrong escape the police cheat code in the game GTA. There is no replay button in real life, my friend, only game over and endless car repair bills. Driving at crazy speeds, disregarding the law and the lives of others, running away from the police always leads to unpredictable consequences. You can restart in games, but your life cannot.
I got the 1050.
1050. Two cars.
I got the 1050.
Negative. Is there anybody else on the other side?
Yes, there's a passenger.
Okay.
A transformation magic trick fails when the silver car tries to teleport into a space that does not exist. The result is an unfortunate paparazzi shot from the dash cam. Our hero intended to perform a spectacular drift through the fence, but forgot that this was real life without cinematography. The audition for Fast and Furious Drift Garage found its first eliminated contestant. The wall gave this performance a 0 inches with a collision that couldn't be more realistic. The surprise gift program of the dump truck driver. Today's gift is a free hail for everyone on the road. The SUV parked on the side of the road became the lucky winner of the special prize. Drive-through service has been upgraded to a new level, driving straight into the waiting room. The old man on the sofa has proven his death dodging reflexes faster than Wi-Fi speed. A test of strength between American muscle and reinforced concrete. Final score, concrete 1, pickup 0. Concrete columns are meant to stay still, not for you to test their durability. High-speed chases turn the streets into a dangerous stage where anyone can get caught up. This biker just witnessed the tilted dance of death and luckily didn't become a dance partner. The container had a heart-stopping greeting. A pool billiards performance with the car as the ball and the store as the hole. The SUV had a perfect start, bringing the car in front neatly into the corner. Traffic domino effect. One careless lane cutting triggers a chain of collisions, ending with the heroic sacrifice of a lamppost. Go slow and steady better than being a second too fast and then standing for a while. The Guillotine Bridge continues to collect trophies. The height sign tried to shout "Don't cross," but the truck driver was wearing headphones. Read the sign or prepare the money to buy a new convertible. When two elephants fight, the grass and trees are crushed. In this case, the pickup truck is the poor grass caught between the two giants. Recklessly overtaking and not leaving a way for smaller vehicles, an act that shows the selfishness and danger of big truck drivers. The van driver was probably looking for a shortcut to Narnia and thought the roundabout was a magic portal. A masterful display of pit, precision immobilization technique from the police. The criminal car was locked in the game in the most beautiful way. Thinking that he was the main character in the game Need for Speed and could escape the law. Never bring your in-game skills into real life, especially with the police. The New Year's fireworks were a little early. Someone turned the intersection into a terrifying stage of light and sound. Drive carefully so as not to light up the whole neighborhood this way. This pilot must have taken off on the wrong runway, a landing from the sky, leaving everyone wondering what just happened. The tree is small but has a big will. It bravely stood up to stop an out-of-control truck to protect the sidewalk. I would like to award it the Hero of Trees medal. Captain America's shield on the motorbike could not withstand the hit from behind. Even superheroes are helpless against drivers who do not observe. Welcome to the Central Circus on the highway. Today's performance, Death Seesaw and Swinging on the Front Bumper. The actors do not need protective gear. Transporting goods in a serious way, causing loss of balance and playing with the lives of themselves and others. The game Rock, Paper, Scissors on vehicles. Pickup truck shows scissors, container truck shows rock. Result, the hammer smashes the scissors. This driver is trying to set a Guinness World Record for the longest railway grinding in the world. Unfortunately, there are no judges there to award the prize. A friendly tail wag from the truck and the SUV received that greeting in full. The truck turned sharply, causing the rear of the car to swing out, a dangerous phenomenon that small car drivers need to be aware of. The real-life horror movie Death Scythe, the steel bars decided to cross through the windshield. The car driver had an unforgettable experience. luck only comes once. Don't challenge it a second time. Failed to follow the system's dimensions and instructions, causing a literal traffic jam. Sometimes technology is helpless against human stubbornness. This was a failure of the lifting system, possibly due to a moment of weakness of the hydraulic mechanism. Welcome to the Swan Dance and with Broken Wings on Ice. The car dancers performed a chaotic and expensive group skating performance. The judges, insurance companies will not give high marks. It seems that the car driver wanted to try the feeling of being a knight and the bus was the steed. A failed back riding turned the car into an installation art right on the median strip. Overestimating your own abilities and underestimating the laws of physics, bad technique and lack of preparation. A tug-of-war game of Farmer's Rebellion. The two tractors joined forces, but it seems like the ditch is the ultimate winner. The crop is destroyed. When you want to impress the bus with a kiss from behind, but go a little too far. Not keeping a safe distance, a basic mistake, but always leads to not-so-basic endings. This pilot must have been trained in a free flight school, a flight through space and time from one lane to the other without a ticket. Confusing the forward pedal gas with the back to reality pedal brake. A chase is always an unpredictable situation where anyone can become a victim. Two young men are sitting chill when they unexpectedly experience the free house demolition service. The truck came and went like a whirlwind. Losing control at high speed, turning a truck into an unstoppable destruction machine. Sometimes sitting at home is not safe if your house is near the road. This driver is definitely a bowling fan. He had a perfect strike on the cones. Changing lanes like he was alone in the desert, ignoring all signs and obstacles. A very artistic flip, but this is not the Olympics. The car awarded itself a gold medal at the junkyard. very artistic flip, but this is not the Olympics. The car awarded itself a gold medal at the junkyard. The dump truck made a tilt that was a bit too much, turning the bridge into an unwelcome seesaw. The cameraman must have wondered if he needed to buy a ticket for this show. The driver of the white car was testing the automatic leapfrog feature, but it seems the software was faulty. The container seems to be too tired and decides to take a nap right at the intersection, dragging a group of motorbikes into a chaotic dream. Turning public roads into private playgrounds, an act of excess energy but lack of brains. Someone please tell the green truck driver that the highway is not a stage for a surprise ballet. Someone please tell the black SUV driver that there are no shortcuts at roundabouts. In an attempt to cut corners to save a few seconds, he turned himself into a billiard ball and poked straight into the poor gray car. This driver must have mistakenly pressed the perform key combination instead of drive on the highway. An artistic stunt. Unfortunately, no judges gave him any points, only a repair bill waiting. The tanker driver also did not fully appreciate the great size of his vehicle. After a collision with the wall, the car performs a spectacular flip, proving that sometimes fixed obstacles have a stronger counterforce than you think. The pickup truck's sudden braking started an unexpected symphony, with the truck as the main conductor and the two cars as the unwanted low notes. Driving recklessly, performing skills in a dangerous public place. The curve is not the place to test the limits of tires and the laws of physics. The car driver seems to believe that the concrete divider is just a decoration. A spectacular sidewalk makes him the unexpected star of the road. A boss rescue that went down in the history of the transportation industry. The truck driver chose to save the little dog but had to sacrifice the whole car. Kindness sometimes needs to be accompanied by calmness. When two hotheads met on the road, they decided to use the car to talk. The result was a conversation full of sparks and debris, making the people around them gasp. This is a tour through obstacles of a disoriented truck. From barriers, roundabouts, to even dragging sparks, this vehicle had a fiery and memorable tour. The driver showed signs of complete loss of control, possibly due to drunkenness or poor health, causing a series of extremely dangerous behaviors for society. When you see unusual signs, keep your distance and immediately report to the authorities. Both trucks did not estimate the space needed to turn, lacking tolerance and communication. Just one godlike lane change of the SUV created a chain reaction collision, a reminder that on the road you are not only driving for yourself, but also for those around you. The driver of the gray car made a lane merging move, believing he was driving a submarine. Unfortunately, the truck had no sonar to detect it. Operating a dump truck improperly on soft or uneven ground can result in a loss of center of gravity and overturning.
Это, блядь, машина, блядь. Капец, что происходит.
The retaining wall has decided to retire and take a surprising nap, turning the parking lot into a natural disaster area. A subterranean maneuver that proves that sometimes the quickest shortcut leads to the longest repair bill. Loss of control at high speed while attempting a turn. A deadly combination of speed and lack of control turns the car into an unguided missile. SUV version of land surfing. The driver probably thought the brake track on the road was a predetermined track for him. This driver must have taken the door-to-door mode literally. A dusty landing right in front of the house proves that sometimes the shortest path isn't a straight one. The double-decker bus decided to clear the road in the most aggressive way possible, turning the small car into a poor toy. This truck is trying to do a difficult yoga bench on a slippery road. The result is an unbearable pose blocking the road, forcing other vehicles to meditate on the spot. The terrifying jackknife phenomenon caused by speeding on a rainy road. This is the nightmare of every truck driver and everyone around. Bend safely, don't let the whole road calm down because of you. Running a red light combined with alter speed is a perfect recipe for disaster. The driver completely disregarded his own life and the lives of others. When a tire decided to stop playing, the SUV had an impromptu breakdance, spinning wildly between 3 lanes, an artistic handling that made viewers both gasp and wonder if he was filming a music video. Welcome to the Speedway Figure Skating Championships. These two athletes performed an impromptu double spin. The only downside was that the gravity judge gave them a low landing spot. This truck driver must be a big fan of the Transformers series, trying to transform in the middle of the road. Unfortunately, he only turned into a pile of scrap metal instead of a fighting robot. This intersection is the place where the high-speed version of You Want to Date takes place. The contestants rush into each other without the MC introducing them. Perhaps they think that collision is the most impressive way to get to know each other. The most spectacular unboxing scene on Earth. The driver decided to review the new product for the whole route to see. Complete loss of control at high speed, possibly due to falling asleep or technical failure. A terrifying scenario when the giant becomes uncontrollable. The white car driver seemed to be trying to teach the entire highway a slow waltz, but unfortunately the black car driver behind preferred breakdancing. An artistic 720-degree turn in the air, but unfortunately the landing was not given high marks by the judges. Other cars. It seems that these drivers are participating in a Who Has the Strongest Magnetic Field challenge? The bus driver was clearly at fault for not keeping a safe distance and not controlling his speed. The grand debut of Fast Brick Delivery Service 24/7. The truck driver seemed to have misunderstood door-to-door delivery as rooftop delivery. This driver must have thought the bike lane was a VIP lane free from traffic jams. The tanker driver attempted a lifetime drift on a curve and he succeeded in a way no one expected. Don't drift the tanker, leave the explosive displays to Hollywood filmmakers. Speeding, not looking for other vehicles when exiting areas with limited visibility such as underpasses or curves. Don't drive like you're the only one in the world, because there are many people in the world who are thinking exactly like you. Another free shipping all routes scene. The truck driver generously shared all of his goods with everyone on the highway. This parking lot has just opened a new space gate, and this car is the first customer to experience the underground parking service. The main ballerina in the military version of Swan Lake is performing a pirouette, but the stage seems a bit rough. The tricycle driver performed a jump scare from the bushes, almost turning the car driver into the main actor in a horror movie. Most likely, you've confused the gas pedal with the brake, leading to a complete loss of control. Bad habit, forgetting to pull the handbrake or not blocking the wheels when parking on a slope. This customer is definitely a believer in the saying, "The customer is always king," but not all kings should drive straight into the store like this. The friends who don't keep their distance are having a heated and expensive meeting on the highway. Not keeping a safe distance, creating an inevitable chain reaction. A heated conversation on the road where car stops replace words and ends with an unfriendly handshake. Provocative, unrestrained driving, road rage, turning the street into a stage for the ego. Subjectivity and carelessness when not checking the height of the vehicle and goods before going through height-restricted structures. An impromptu and dangerous waltz where you dance without being invited. The yellow van made a groundbreaking lane change. The dog tried to bark to warn about the strange object coming, but it seemed the driver was busy blindly rushing, a lesson in protecting the vulnerable. When you think you can carry the world, but it doesn't work out that way. The crane had a tiring day and decided to retire early. The god of thunder seems to have just visited this town and left behind a gift of electric shock. The scene was as bright as a fireworks show, but unfortunately no one was selling tickets for this performance. Electrical failure caused by lightning or severe weather, a reminder that nature always has dazzling surprises. An unwanted handshake between two fellow travelers. It seemed like they had a romantic date in a puddle, but the ending was not peaceful. An expensive lesson about love each other too much, bite each other hard. The electric pole in the car had an irreparable love triangle. When you trust the saying, trying too hard becomes too late, the effort to put the car on the container turned into a circus performance failed. The demise of a legend. This crane has served its time, and this is the most spectacular way to retire, leaving behind a legacy of ruins. Deliberately crossing the railway barrier, an extremely dangerous act, disregarding life. A Hollywood action movie style highway cleanup. The truck decided to unload all its cargo to reduce the load. Loss of control at high speed, possibly due to a flat tire or mechanical failure, causing a terrible accident. A highway version of a sandwich with a Jeep as the victim. It seems that the truck and bus drivers had an unwanted three-way date. The motorbike driver lacks observation, brakes suddenly, and loses control. The car driver also does not keep a distance. Not estimating the distance when reversing into a tight space, a classic mistake of those who believe just backing up is in. Forgetting to pull the handbrake or a technical error causing the vehicle to roll down a slope, an extremely dangerous situation. This taxi driver is definitely a fan of the movie Fast and Furious, deciding to drift straight into the store to buy something quickly. The sports car driver's test of courage performance. He tried to squeeze under the steel pipes, but it seems he miscalculated the size. Driving too close to a truck carrying bulky goods, not anticipating the risk of the goods falling over. This driver definitely misunderstood the meaning of emergency and decided to skip all registration procedures, going straight to the waiting room through a separate entrance. These drivers were playing shunting cars, but forgot that this was a car, not a train. A clustered and costly ending. The run, swim, and hide triathlon took an unexpected turn. The athlete in pink chose the freestyle to finish, but it seemed he forgot that the referees in blue were also excellent swimmers and had specialized life buoys. Resisting a law enforcement officer, a reckless decision leading to a wet chase. Never test your endurance against the law, especially in swimming. The results are often not what you expect. The flying car stunt went wrong. It seems the driver had watched too many action movies and believed that cars could fly like birds. The result was a not-so-soft landing. Driving too fast, losing control while cornering, resulting in a collision and flipping the car. An expensive lesson in don't try what you see in the movies. When you are too confident in your dodging ability and decide to challenge a truck, the result is an unwanted art installation performance. An unexpected dance on the highway. This SUV seems to want to show off its breakdancing talent, but the ending is not artistic. When your truck decides to bend over to greet the road, a yoga in the wrong place and at the wrong time. A failed magic performance. The container tried to disappear from the forklift but was only half successful. In an attempt to evade the ticket into the ground, he had an unequal confrontation, turning his car into a crushed soda can. The driver of a car has proven that the speed of light cannot help you pass through a turning truck. The white car driver was probably in a hurry, wanting to check out right at the cashier with the whole car. The classic jackknife phenomenon occurs when braking hard on a slippery road. The car has turned itself into a giant pair of scissors, ready to cut anything in its path. The police officer almost became an unwanted obstacle in the truck's sliding performance. Luckily, the truck driver realized in time that he was not the main character in an action movie. The excavator guy probably thought he was modest enough to crawl under the bridge, but the bridge, as a strict judge, flatly refused. total loss of control due to a stunt on a public road. Burning tires won't get you any faster. It will just get you to the fence faster. A top-notch street ballet, but lacking a bit of grace and a lot of danger. This behavior can cause unforeseen consequences.
Jesus Christ!
An unequal battle between Little David and Bus Goliath. The result is not surprising. Goliath won by technical knockout. Tesla's autopilot mode probably hasn't been updated with the flyover fence feature. The car makes a spectacular jump, turning the charging station into a chaotic billiards court. This unintentional shoulder-to-shoulder with a container friend will definitely leave a deep memory and a dented side of the car. Completely ignoring the warning signals at the level crossing, this is traffic suicide. The garbage truck decided to expand its collection range, and this time its target was a bewildered blue car. Perhaps the blue driver did not receive the notification of the new cleaning schedule. Reckless overtaking at high speed. Just a small mistake, a light wind, or a sneeze is enough to turn the car into a pile of scrap metal sandwiched between two giants. The car flipped over due to loss of control. The cause could be high speed, sudden steering, or slippery road. The liquid in the tank creates a wave effect, making the vehicle more unstable. The truck probably wanted to test out homemade fireworks, but the scale was a little out of control. Maybe the driver couldn't control the speed or confused the accelerator and brake when cornering.
No, the call by 27, sir. What? Underneath the first bridge. Coming up on the second. Oh, wait. Yeah.
A real-life Hollywood chase. The pickup truck guy decided to test the durability of the tires, the police, and everything on the road. The result was an unhappy ending for the car.
I got the signal 10 screening. We're going to be 826 eastbound from 12.
826 eastbound from 12 is the on-foot or
I'm behind a signal 10, black GMC Benelli. It's going to be a 28 of horse. 23. I believe it's signal 4 to vehicle right now. Alright, towards the turnpike. He's going 12 whiskey. Now going on the turnpike, signal 4 versus a truck, and we got to run over.
Fled the police at high speed, drove recklessly, endangering countless road users. This behavior is not only a traffic violation, but also a criminal offense. The truck was moving when it was given a huge hit by an out-of-control pickup truck, causing both to join in a chaotic dance. A spectacular flip after being lightly kissed on the side. The Fiat driver seemed to believe in telepathy and changed lanes without warning. Unfortunately, the Porsche behind him did not catch this brainwave, and a gentle push turned the car into an unwilling spinning top in the middle of the highway.
Oh my God.
The street sideshow performance turned the intersection into a stage of smoke and fire. A duel between a car and a truck on a flooded road. The car tried to surf but was hit by the wave from the truck, causing it to rotate 180 degrees and turn into an involuntary boat. The landing on the side of the road is not as smooth as on an airplane and will definitely leave a memorable memory for the passengers. A car show turned into a collision, proving that not everyone with a nice car has nice driving skills. A rescue attempt went horribly wrong. The wrong lifting force and angle caused the truck to flip over, endangering the people who were trying to help. This is not an accident. This is a spectacular transformation magic trick. The pickup truck turned 3 cars into an abstract metal sculpture in seconds. The sinkhole appeared due to erosion or weak underground structures, a reminder that not all road hazards come from other drivers. Perhaps someone accidentally knocked over a giant jar of curry powder or was trying to summon some kind of deity. The bus tries its hand at being a submarine, but it seems to be more successful at being submerged than above ground. The pickup truck was trying to show off its ninja dodging skills, but instead it ran into a heavier opponent. Another lesson in ignoring height limit signs. The driver turned his truck into an unwitting convertible. The pickup decided to test the stability of a roadside restaurant, and the result was the restaurant lost. Intersections are places that require patience. Green lights do not mean absolute safety. Always look before going. The truck driver decides to play a game of bowling, and the oncoming vehicles are the pins, an unwanted strike. The truck loses control, most likely due to brake failure, and veers into the oncoming lane. The car was moving when it suddenly turned into a living torch, creating a scene that was both terrifying and lit up the entire corner of the road. Losing control on snowy roads. Steering or braking hard in these conditions can easily cause the vehicle to spin and flip, especially when hitting the median strip. The bus driver probably had a tiring day at work and decided to take a nap. The driver seems to want to try a shortcut down the road but forgets that his car doesn't have wings, a dramatic landing in the wrong place. When other cars are bleached visually, a collision is inevitable, creating an unsolicited fireworks display. Gas stations are places to refuel, not places to end. Slow down and drive carefully when entering this area. It could have been due to brake failure or the driver completely losing control. This behavior shows recklessness and disregard for traffic rules, causing a serious accident. A duel between two trucks. The white SUV probably thought it was a god that could pass through objects, but reality proved otherwise. Driving at high speed and losing control, especially on unfamiliar roads. This behavior is not only dangerous for you, but also for other road users. The driver thought the steam was the entrance to the spa. Who would have thought it was a one-way ticket to an underground mud bath? Driving into an area with poor visibility is a gamble. Seeing a blurry road? Stop, don't be delusional. This parking lot has an unexpected restructuring function. Luckily, the sister has the reflexes of Spider-Man, neatly dodging the gift from the sky. The white car invites the red car into a breakdance, spinning in the middle of the highway, an expensive insurance stunt. Tesco's hot sale program literally sold out. The truck turned itself into a mobile torch. This driver must be a Kool-Aid Man fan with his impressive gate-breaking entrance. The dog must have given this automatic gate a 0/10. An extremely modest bowing ceremony? After the collision, the truck cabin decided to bend 90 degrees, a transformation that made the driver's heart ache. A fiery tango between two pickup trucks at an intersection. One glides forward, the other spins around. Intersections are a test of patience and vision. This guy must have watched too many action movies and tried a stunt. This truck has probably watched Tokyo Drift for over 180 minutes and decided to perform the Mountain Pass version. The result is an impressive dance of death, but no bonus points from the judges. Not keeping a safe distance and losing focus is the fastest way to turn a car into pieces and get many others in trouble. This driver seems to want to try roller skating on the highway, and the median has become an unwilling dance partner. Mistaking the accelerator for the brake, especially in a narrow space, is a fatal mistake that can not only destroy your car, but also your shop. The first car is stationary, and then the whole group behind decides to join in the collective kissing tail dance, an undesirable unity performance on the highway. When the skill of reversing is only at the beginner level, the guy upgraded to the weightlifting package to complete the task. SUV driver decides to cut in front of a road train. The result is a free trip on the Wheel of Death. This Mercedes driver was probably in a hurry to go to a meeting, so he decided to shed the body of the car, leaving the shell at home, a reverse into the ground, literally. Height signs are not for decoration. Stubbornly going over when you don't have enough height will bring you a costly lesson. This driver probably thought he was at a ski resort and wanted to try a drift on the ice. Losing your brakes or losing control on a steep road is a nightmare, especially for vehicles carrying dangerous goods. The consequences are unpredictable. The wheel decided to go out on its own without warning, leaving the car in a helpless kneeling position. The red light was just a suggestion. The white car decided to turn the intersection into a fighting ring, throwing punches at everyone. A classy handling caused chaos in the area. The outdoor BBQ party didn't go as planned when the chef turned himself into the main dish. Luckily, the friend in blue was quick to use a fire extinguisher to cool down. Stupid vandalism, lacking understanding of the dangers of gasoline fumes. When you anger the queen, you will receive a lesson for life. This sister turned the windshield wiper into a powerful weapon, teaching the driver a lesson about patience. Careless transport of goods, especially heavy goods, can cause terrible accidents for those behind. A classic Who's Braver showdown at a three-way intersection. Vehicles from side streets do not yield to vehicles on main streets. Lack of observation at intersections. This car was probably designed to flip like a rice paper, a gentle handling, but the consequences are not light. A fierce boxing between two drivers, but not in the ring, but right in the middle of the intersection. When you want to save money on car wash, the universe will send you a tanker truck, a free bath, clean inside and out. An endless chase between two motorbikes. It seems that the guy behind is so intoxicated with speed that he forgets the road. Weaving and weaving at high speed is not only dangerous for yourself, but also for those around you. This van may have found a shortcut underground, a classic sinking hole that left the whole neighborhood frozen.
Wow, you're a piece of shit.
When you anger the queen, you will receive a lesson for life. This sister turned the windshield wiper into a powerful weapon, teaching the driver a lesson about patience. A horrifying chase on the highway. The criminal guy probably watched too many action movies and decided to try his hand at the police. The result was a cornering that went underground. Running away from the police is not only illegal, but also extremely dangerous and can cause catastrophic accidents. This is how you escape a relationship, Fast and Furious style. A burnout leaves two broken hearts and a trail of acrid smoke. When a tire decides to play kamikaze, and your windshield is the only target, tighten the screws, don't give your tire a chance to take a headshot. Two trucks decided to fight martial arts right on the road. A gentle collision was enough to turn both into scraps. Losing control at high speed even for a moment can turn your car into a broken toy. The elevated parking lot was full, so the driver decided to find a new parking spot under the water. This roller skating performance is not for the faint of heart. This driver must have mistaken the red light for the special effects button in an action movie. A red light is not a suggestion, it is a command. Don't turn an intersection into your movie set. Crossing a railroad without looking, ignoring all safety rules is a gamble with life, and luck does not always smile on you. The silver sedan seems to have mistaken the slippery country road for the stage of Dancing with the Cars. This white car must have dreamed of becoming a professional mountain climber, but it seems to have forgotten that it has no goat legs. The driver of the black sedan deserves the Magician of the Year award for his disappearance after turning the white SUV into an involuntary stuntman. The silver car driver must have thought he was playing a game and had a cheat code to go through objects, but life is not like a dream. The truck and SUV have proven that their firewall is much stronger. The concrete mixer driver probably received an urgent order for a new cocktail recipe. Road dust, debris, and a little regret. The skillful shaking at the intersection made everyone enjoy it from afar. When you park your car in temporary mode, the truck bed may decide to free itself and find a new parking spot. The driver must be wondering, hey, where's my rear body? Loss of control at high speed, and more importantly, the goods were not properly secured, easily falling apart in case of an accident. Hanvi tatauze tai mot kach liulin, kong chua kwang trong and ton. Viek ne buok tai zeze tai pai dang lai gap danden mat kiem sot valatze. Director Michael Bay would be proud of this explosion stunt. Too bad it's real life. This is the latest tilting dance of the dump truck world. The truck driver is playing a Jenga version of electric poles and power lines. Unfortunately, he pulled the wrong stick, causing the entire system to collapse and giving the opposite vehicle a shower of spare parts. The tractor, without a trailer, has a light center of gravity at the rear. When going fast on a slippery road, it is easy to lose traction and skid, leading to loss of control. The sedan driver proved a false theorem. Two objects can coexist in the same place at the same time. The truck argued very eloquently. The car driver probably thought he was driving a snowmobile and wanted to try a gliding on the embankment. The result was a landing that couldn't be harder. This dump truck seemed to want to hug the entire curve instead of just going through it. A hug that was too tight, causing both the vehicle and the cargo to rest. Entering the curve at too high a speed, especially with a heavy load, soil, sand, causing the vehicle to lose balance and flip over. The street is not a stage. Don't turn your life into a tragedy. This dump truck was assisted in unloading its goods in a unique way. Perhaps the excavator driver wanted to test the express unloading method. The opening of this car hood is truly surprising and artistic. The driver behind must have been shocked to see an iron bird flying towards him. Driving at high speed on a curved and slippery road, leading to loss of control, causing the truck to flip over and spill all the cargo onto the road. Loss of control due to speeding on slippery roads, causing the vehicle to turn into an unguided missile. The SUV's dancing before crashing into the convenience store looked artistic. Perhaps the driver wanted to buy snacks as quickly as possible, literally. This is the most involuntary and costly makeover on the highway. It seems that the small car driver wanted to show off his body, so he decided to take off his clothes immediately. The car owner, with the spirit of as long as you can breathe, you can still get it back, decided to solo with the recovery staff. The final kiss of the electric pole was an ending that couldn't be more bitter. The tango dance of two heavy trucks, they supported each other, swerved, and almost had a passionate kiss. The surrounding audience must have had a heart attack. a Hollywood version of hide and seek. The red car showed off its top-notch stealth skills but was eventually caught by the supporting cast in uniform. An unhappy ending for the main character. Running away when being chased is a bad decision, turning a small mistake into a series of bigger crimes. The white SUV performed an impromptu breakdance at the intersection, giving pedestrians a free circus show. Fortunately, no one had to become a prop. The Angry Pickup Race Part 9, the two racers turned the public road into a personal racetrack with dramatic cutting in and squeezing the field. This driver must have watched Tokyo Drift, but skipped to the wrong end. A literal drift of gas into the ground. Parking under large, rotten trees in bad weather conditions is a risky decision. The weight and strong winds can cause branches or the entire tree to break at any time. This van seems to be participating in a who can cross the bridge faster contest, but mistakenly chose the opponent as a futuristic self-driving bus and a police car. A high-tech chase with an unpredictable ending. When you have made a mistake, do not try to run away. The Skynet may not be wide, but cameras and police cars are everywhere. The failed confession of a small car to a taxi. Perhaps the small car driver wanted to kiss the back of the taxi to express his admiration, but was a bit too forceful. Running a red light or not giving way to a bus at an intersection, leading to a strong collision that throws the car off the road. This is proof of the saying, alter speed, go to a far place. Two cars turned a quiet village road into a runway, and the result was an unsuccessful takeoff. Gas stations are not a place to play with fire. A small spark can burn down an entire future.
Got me alright. Oh!
This unexpected aerodynamic performance certainly opened the shipper's eyes. A double sword between a truck and a pickup truck. It seems like they were trying to create a new hybrid vehicle, but the result was a mess. Street council scene. When a minor collision occurred, instead of calmly resolving it, the parties decided to open a conference right in the middle of the roundabout. dramatic overtaking on the highway. The pickup truck pulling the